Use of Animals in Biomedical Research, American Medical Association. Background. The position paper you are about to read is published by the American Medical Association. Founded in Philadelphia in 1847, the American Medical Association, AMA, is the largest professional organization for physicians in the United States. The AMA identifies its core purpose as the promotion of the science and art of medicine and the betterment of public health. Animals have been used in experiments for at least 2,000 years, with the first reference made in the 3rd century BC in Alexandria, Egypt, when the philosopher and scientist Aristotle used animals to study body functions. 5 centuries later, the Roman physician Galen used apes and pigs to prove his theory that veins carry blood rather than air. In succeeding centuries, animals were employed to discover how the body functions or to confirm or disprove theories developed through observation. Advances in knowledge made through these experiments included Harvey's demonstration of the circulation of blood in 1622, the effects of anesthesia on the body in 1846, and the relationship between bacteria and disease in 1878. Today, animals are used in experiments for 3 general purposes. 1. Biomedical and behavioral research. 2. Education. 3. Drug and product testing. Biomedical research increases understanding of how biological systems function and advances medical knowledge. Educational experiments are conducted to educate and train students in medicine, veterinary medicine, physiology, and general science. In many instances, these experiments are conducted with dead animals. Animals are also employed to determine the safety and efficacy of new drugs or the toxicity of chemicals to which humans or animals may be exposed. Most of these experiments are conducted by commercial firms to fulfill government requests. Use of animals rather than humans. A basic assumption of all types of research is that man should relieve human and animal suffering. One objection to the use of animals in biomedical research is that the animals are used as surrogates for human beings. This objection presumes the equality of all forms of life. Animal rights advocates argue that if the tests are for the benefit of man, then man should serve as the subject of the experiments. There are limitations, however, to the use of human subjects, both ethically, such as in the testing of potentially toxic drug or chemicals, and in terms of what can be learned. The process of aging, for instance, can best be observed through experiments with rats, which live an average of 2 or 3 years, or with some types of monkeys, which live 15 to 20 years. Some experiments require numerous subjects of the same weight or genetic makeup, or require special diets or physical environments. These conditions make the use of human subjects difficult or impossible. By using animals in such tests, researchers can observe subjects of uniform age and background in sufficient numbers to determine if findings are consistent and applicable to a larger population. Animals are important in research precisely because they have complex body systems that react and interact with stimuli much as humans do. The more true this is with a particular animal, the more valuable that animal is for a particular type of research. One important property to a researcher is discrimination, the extent to which an animal exhibits the particular quality to be investigated. The greater the degree of discrimination, the greater the reliability and predictability of the information gathered from the experiment. For example, dogs have been invaluable to biomedical research because of the relative size of their organs compared to humans. The first successful kidney transplant was performed in a dog, and the techniques used to save the lives of blue babies with structural defects in their hearts, were developed with dogs. Open heart surgical techniques, coronary bypass surgery, and heart transplants were all developed using dogs. Another important factor is the amount of information available about a particular animal. Mice and rats play an extensive role in research and testing, in part because repeated experiments in controlled breeding have created a pool of data to which the findings from a new experiment can be related and given meaning. Their rapid rate of reproduction also has made them important in studies of genetics and other experiments that require observation over a number of generations. Moreover, humans cannot be bred to produce inbred strains, as can be done with animals. Therefore, humans cannot be substituted for animals in studies where an inbred strain is essential. Scientists argue repeatedly that research is necessary to reduce human and animal suffering and disease. Biomedical advances depend on research with animals, and not using them would be unethical because it would deprive humans and animals of the benefits of research. Benefits of animal experimentation. The arguments advanced by animal rights activists in opposing the use of animals in biomedical research are scientific, emotional, and philosophic. The scientific challenge raised by animal rights activists goes to the heart of the issue by asking whether animal experiments are necessary for scientific and medical progress, and whether all the experiments being performed and all the animals being used are justified and required. Scientists insist that they are. Animal rights activists insist that they are not. Scientists justify the use of animals in biomedical research on two grounds: the contribution that the information makes to human and animal health and welfare, and the lack of any alternative way to gain the information and knowledge. Animal rights activists contest experiments that utilize animals on both these grounds, and assert that this practice no longer is necessary because alternative methods of experimentation exist for obtaining the same information. In an appearance on the Today Show in 1985, Ingrid Newkirk, representing People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, PETA, stated, "If it were such a valuable way to gain knowledge, we should have eternal life by now." This statement is similar in spirit to one made in 1900 by an anti-vivisectionist who stated that, given the number of experiments on the brain done up to then, the insane asylums in Washington, D.C. should be empty.